Before we get started on our very first official video, I just wanted to quickly remind you to hit the subscribe button and that notification bell as well would be great. It's one of the best ways you can support us. It's free and will help way more than you realize. And with that, back to the topic at hand.
Before we get into summarizing the reality crafter system and mindset, it's critical to know where we came from, to better understand why we created it and the environment from which it was born. As you'll see, we're probably two of the most critical cases that needed the system for two very different reasons, and we're both still growing and learning.
I'd wake up already feeling exhausted each day. My wake-up times were all over the place, and every day felt pretty much the same. I was working full-time as a pretty successful software developer, and was working pretty much non-stop. Even during lunch breaks, I was trying to find ways of still being productive. Caffeine, burgers, pizza, they were getting me through. Thanks to the power of food delivery and the ability to work from home, we didn't even need to leave the house. I even had an IT certificate that told me all about the right way to sit at a computer desk for long periods of time, and I had plenty of advice on taking regular breaks. Yet my posture got worse each day and my breaks were non-existent. I'd finish up each day with some Netflix while attempting to work on side projects, the glow of the TV being the relaxation time. Relaxation just meant adding another screen to the mix. Unsurprisingly enough, this whole combination didn't lead to a whole lot of side projects getting completed, just a lot left incomplete, which wasn't the most fulfilling way to finish each day. I'd keep adding more side projects from others to my list of tasks, but I struggled to finish any of my own. Side projects left hanging, I'd go back to sleep, ready for another day of full-time work where I would just stare at some screens some more.
Every day, I would wake up to continue my life as an imposter of a content creator. My nose was always blocked when I woke up. The room was so full of clothes and stuff, and of course all the dust that it held onto as well. My nose couldn't handle it. We had white IKEA furniture, which had stayed anything but white, if you could even see it through the piles of stuff. I had bought not one, not two, but 3 extra racks to hang clothes, on top of the 3 wardrobes I'd also filled, and not one, not two, but 3 extra shelves for folded clothes, which was nothing compared to the over 300 eyeshadow palettes, combined with the dozens of eyeshadow panning plans I made to try and coordinate what I use when and justify my uselessly large collection. Actually, it felt like every category of stuff was overflowing. Every day, I would start by checking the stats. Not good enough, not even close. Every day. I would post up posts, videos, every type, anything, and nothing seemed to work. I'd do my singing warm-ups while scrolling online shops for more stuff, not because I needed it, but because it was habit. I was always on another mission, another hunt. I had an idea for something to make and something I needed to make it. Maybe this would be the one that works. Throughout the day, I'd practice instruments, write songs, film, edit, and perform on Twitch, my main bread and butter. All of those things, practicing, songwriting, creating, performing, were my favorite things in the world to do. But somehow, it was always a grind. It was endlessly unsatisfying, and I never felt like I was doing what I wanted to do. I was nowhere near good enough at my instruments, no one listened to my songs, my concurrent viewers were either definitely down from last stream or a one-off that I definitely couldn't keep up. I was simultaneously refusing to follow the algorithms because I was an artist, but also still trying to follow the algorithms because I had to, but failing, constantly failing. Even when I was paying the bills with my content creation, even when I was actually gaining views, which felt like never, I was failing. And sometimes I would just break down. What the hell happened? I was the definition of an overachiever in school. I was top of my classes, I'd gotten into law school, I'd won a silver medal in the nationals for sports, performed in front of millions of people on national TV, all the fancy things when I was a kid. When I was a kid. I peaked early, I guess. And what was I now? A dropkick. Before I knew it, it was late at night, I hadn't left the house, I hadn't interacted with any real-life humans other than Pat, yet again, and I was once again scrolling, comparing online images of eyeshadow swatches or mindlessly zoning out to whatever Netflix show Pat had put on. Another day gone.
The reality craft system is something we developed because the modern tech environment and online landscape is fundamentally anti-human in many ways.
Tech giants prioritize profits and engagement over the well-being of their users. Physiologically, our bodies are not made to deal with the new ways we live our lives. Socially, we're somehow more connected and yet realistically disconnected than ever before. And something has happened to our brains where we find it harder to focus, engage, and to be able to cope.
We're not anti-tech, we're not against technology. Tech can be an extremely powerful tool if used in a healthy way. There's no need to abandon all of our technological progress entirely. We just need to be smarter about it.
Also, our system is not prescriptive. You define your own goals, and the system just helps put you on a path to reach those goals.
Yeah, it's helped us a lot.
Immensely.
And we hope it'll help others too. Here are the 3 tenets to the reality craft system.
The first tenet is rule your tools, don't let them rule you.
This tenet is all about understanding the way the tech and online landscape has been developed, the directions it pushes you in, and why.
It's easy to let life, dreams, goals, and ambitions pass you by as you're stuck in a hypnosis that you're not even aware that you're stuck in.
Ruling your tools, again, doesn't mean abandoning them entirely.
Very, very rarely is that the best option.
It means defining your goals, your desires, what you want to be doing with your time, and mindfully planning your use of technology to achieve that.
Not distracted, disrupted, redirected, or conditioned into behaviors that are actively working against you.
The second tenet is re-engage with the real world.
It's become this almost fun online thing to say, the real world. Ugh, I hate that place. But the real world is the actual world we live in.
Re-engaging with the real world means exactly what you think it would. Leaving the house, looking away from your phone, adventuring, exploring, going out to social events, seeing people.
Actual humans. It also means engaging, truly deeply engaging with whatever activities you're doing. Conditioning your mind out of that lack of focus, surface level, easily bored state it may be in.
You shouldn't just be ruling your tools and going down the path to your goals. You should be deeply, richly, and luxuriously engaged in the process of it.
The third tenet is craft your reality.
This is the least surprising of the 3.
I mean, we are reality crafters.
Crafting your reality is about using your tools, your mind, your community, and your environment to create the life you want to live.
We all have some limitations in our life and circumstances that either need to be overcome or worked around. But within that, there is so much potential for everyone to be making their life more of what they dream it to be.
Practically, this comes in the form of how you structure your environment, both through technology and otherwise, and how you plan your days to involve the activities that align more with your goals and values.
And once again, do this based on what you want, not based on the invisible directions that biased algorithms or tech structures may be pushing you.
Exactly.
When was it you first realized, dang, I need to do something to fix how I've structured my life around tech?
It all came to my mind, literally, with some rather sharp and then aching pains. Basically, my mega headaches were pretty much the realization. Every month, having several days where my body would literally force me to stop, where even with paracetamol, I could still feel my head was cloudy and would return to feeling the headache by the end of the day when the tablets had worn off. I'd worn glasses because of eye strain that had caused headaches in the past, but these headaches were different, and it turns out caused by something entirely different and entirely of my own doing. And that was entirely preventable. It's something you don't really notice straight away. I visited an osteopath, and they understand the muscles, tendons, structure of the body, so they knew exactly what it was, and for the first time I was able to relieve the pain of a headache without pills. And it didn't work every time, but it did work. It turns out it wasn't my head, it was my neck and my shoulders. They were like concrete. The body isn't designed to handle my neck being craned downwards at a laptop screen day after day. You always assume that the body will adapt, and I guess mine did, just not in the way I was expecting. Using tech was now causing me regular, really awful pain. I had to actively change my approach, otherwise this was going to get much worse. What about you, Meri? When did you first realize you needed to fix how you structured your life around technology?
It sounds ridiculous, but the realization hit me when I took a train into the city. The first time in around 3 years. I was so involved in streaming, so stuck in routines, so rarely leaving the home for anything other than short walks or going grocery shopping, post-COVID lockdowns, mind you. I was legitimately disturbed. I felt unsafe on the train, around all the people. I was just that disconnected from reality and humanity. It was genuinely confronting when the realization actually hit. I had never been an introvert or someone that's anxious or nervous, but it wasn't just a mindset or situation change. It was a complete identity change, for the worse. After spending so long in my bubble, leaving it was really, really bad. There was a lot of other triggers that tipped me off to my hoarding habits and negative cycles when it came to content creation, but that one, literally just taking the train, hit really hard.
We didn't just develop the reality craft system, we also developed the reality craft mindset, which is arguably just as important, if not more so, to break down and understand. So we'll cover that next.
Quick little message to let you know about the Reality Crafters cheat sheet. It completely summarizes our system and mindset and is something you can easily reference when you need it, say after this video, when you want a quick summary. Oh, it's also entirely free. Link in the description bar below if you want to grab a copy.
My lowest point, despite all of the headaches and feeling absolutely awful, was not even related to a headache. It started with a massive high point months earlier. I'd found huge motivation, incredible drive to work on a side project. The side project was called GeoGlitched and was an augmented reality game I was putting together for a competition run by Niantic, who are the makers of Pokemon Go. I was so passionate about my game idea, I wanted to see it exist. I'd wake up eager to get coding and make it a reality. I built a whole prototype, submitted it to the competition, and incredibly, I won first place. It was a super exciting time, and I couldn't wait to keep building it and share it with the world. But then, I didn't. Instead, I got distracted. Other projects popped up, full-time work popped up, urgent side projects for others popped up. Yes, of course, my headaches popped up. The time to work on GeoGlitch just disappeared. With every week that passed by where I hadn't gone to work on the project I was super passionate about, my passion for it fell to apathy. I lost the excitement of it all. Without even realizing that I'd lost it, it just felt like no matter how much I wanted to work on that game, there was no time for it. The time and moment was just gone, and other things just kept filling it. Months and months went by, and I'd manage a day or two of work on GeoGlitched, but that was trying to build a pretty challenging part of the game, and the few days I had weren't enough to build the focus and momentum. Even when it was progressing, the progress was tiny and often felt like 2 steps forward, 1 step back. It felt like walking through quicksand just to reach the point where I could work on it, and each time that I'd run out of time, I'd need to wait another month or so, and that quicksand had refilled, needed to be waded through again. Eventually, the loss of the excitement actually caught up to me. I finally noticed that that passion had faded away. It happened to me before with big side projects, but this one was different. This was a higher level of excitement and passion that I just lost. How could I have let that get away?
I had a lot of lowest points. Each one felt like it couldn't get lower. Like there was a giant black ball of disease in the bottom of my gut, consuming me from within. That happened more than once, that exact feeling. I was so isolated and honestly desperate for human connection that I placed my soul and trust in the wrong people. People that seemed to care about me in my dreams. And God, was I excited when I thought I'd found someone that cared about me in my dreams. I was so excited and desperate that I missed obvious signs that people were not there for the right reasons. Which also, obviously, furthered my trust issues even more when they inevitably stabbed me in the back and twisted the knife. My giant piles of stuff were all over the house, almost as large as the never-ending to-do list of things that I wasn't motivated to make. And gosh, was I unmotivated. No one would watch what I make or care about it anyway, so what was the point? I dropped everything in my life. Dropped out of law school, committed 1000% to have this career as a performer. I knew nothing else, but I felt like I had to give up. Even if I did keep just making it through another month and another month, my own mental black clouds would suffocate me from within if I didn't stop. I remember my back against one of our IKEA TV cabinets, filled with my junk, legs spread out, head thrown back, and tears just running down my face as I numbly stared into space. That moment lasted forever. I was entirely defeated. Alone, scared of ever putting myself out there to anyone else, drowning in my junk. A complete failure.
Mindset is like an extremely effective filter.
It colors everything in your world. It can block out large chunks that you'd rather be able to see, magnify others that don't matter so much, and even entirely distort your vision. The approaches you take to life are fundamentally connected with what you get out of life.
Because of that, we developed not only the Reality Crafter system, but also the Reality Crafter mindset.
The Reality Crafter mindset has 4 elements.
The first element is respect the biological machine and the environment within which it lives.
I know this is the totally not fun one, the be fit, get healthy one that everyone's always telling you to do.
For good reason, sadly, because burgers are amazing.
With all the social structures, political structures, worlds and realms that we've constructed around us, it's surprisingly easy to forget that we are human, with all the vulnerabilities and failings, as well as all the strengths and beauties that come with that.
Sometimes we also forget that we live in the real world, that our real environments around us, the air we breathe, our access to food and water, the light around us, the structure of our spaces, all this has a direct impact on our lives.
It's shockingly easy to ignore, distract ourselves, or delude ourselves about. But it is to our own detriment, and the downsides feed into everything else.
The second element is live a rich, decadent life through engaged existence.
We're all about living a rich, decadent life. But what does that actually mean? It means turning off the mute button and experiencing everything in full.
Truly being present, able to be focused, able to be engaged, and able to not only notice and appreciate the wonders of life, but really feel them.
Social media is a master at feeding people short, small, and unfulfilling dopamine hits. It can be a difficult transition, breaking the addiction and retraining your brain. But once you do, the world goes from being grey and dulled out to full colour. Short dopamine hits don't hold a candle to a rich, fulfilling reality.
Damn straight.
The third element is choose less, but the absolute best.
Material things, experiences, people, in all areas of life, that genuine quality is so much more valuable than the unfulfilling, empty quantity.
At a certain point, when it comes to number of items, it can become a burden to maintain, an obstacle to work around, and a weight on your mind. And shelving.
Quantity, when it comes to the number of things that you're trying to pursue at once, it can make it impossible to achieve any one of them.
And true connection with one single human can be universes more fulfilling than thousands of surface level acquaintances.
The fourth and final element is seek growth, learning, and adventure.
We have such a short time to live our lives, to see all the things we want to see, learn all the things we want to learn, and become the people we want to be.
Each time you do any one of those 3 things, it's yours forever. The personal development, the knowledge, and the memories.
We shouldn't aim to just be the ones watching the TV shows, movies, and wild fantastical stories play out on our screens. We should be the star of our own wild fantastical adventures.
Unconscious habits that you've fallen into, the hypnosis that your social media feeds have you under, the isolating silos of the internet, none of those should take the immaculate opportunity of your life away from you.
Your time and attention is worth so much more than Facebook has valued it at.
2023 has been the year I finally took steps to balance my life out again. It hasn't been easy and took a lot of determination and sacrifice, but I'm proud I stuck through it and I have seen great results. I took control of my health again, almost no food delivery, farewell Uber Eats and their many competitors, instead home-cooked food, cautiously chosen meals while out, and some decisive dieting has helped me lose over 10 kilos. Despite cravings for donuts, burgers, thick shakes, diner food, I've left them for special occasions and not an every week food. I've returned to gym and exercise and made a conscious effort to find solutions for the things holding my body back. I've been back to the osteopath regularly have got way more advice around keeping my body in check, and I've even got a regular timer on my laptops to ensure that I'm taking breaks again. I've made some exciting updates to my augmented reality game, GeoGlitched, and have a bunch more to go, but I have renewed excitement on getting this game out there. We're planning on releasing it actually as a part of our duo here at the Reality Crafters. Getting it out there in the world will be an incredible achievement, and it's like I can't wait to share with you all. But above all else, we've already got something exciting we're sharing. The Reality Crafters, the system, the mindset. While it's here helping me have a renewed sense of passion and enthusiasm for each day, that shouldn't be as far as it reaches. It deserves to spread beyond just us. So we're sharing it alongside our stories and our augmented reality creations. I just want to have a positive impact on as many lives as possible, and in 2023, we've made great strides in setting up the groundwork to do just that.
2023 has also been a transformational year for me. It has been a heart-wrenching, soul-crushing breakup with the delusions I've held and a commitment to change. It hasn't been like the beautiful, highly edited photos of perfect humans at the top of perfect mountains with arms outstretched. It has been ugly. Most of it has been done in the dirt, in the trenches, digging through piles of items that I've accumulated and hoarded over the course of essentially my whole life, coming to terms with the reality that I placed myself into the workflows and routines that isolated me, realizing that I fell into a hypnosis, let people walk all over me, wasted hours upon hours mindlessly scrolling through online stores, let myself get so tangled in the stats of content creation they were suffocating me, and pretended time wasn't passing by. Lots of crying, lots of self-reflection, lots of radical self-acceptance. I started sorting piles of things into bags and rehoming them, cut out some of the most toxic relationships in my life, sought professional help for what I'm going through mentally, and started turning my life around. The me you see right now is unrecognizable compared to the me that existed a year ago. But most importantly of all, I made the commitment to take this journey as a gift, use it as impetus to join Pat in this project, the Reality Crafters, to help others who might be going through the same things I went through, to create and share the Reality Crafter system, the Reality Crafter mindset, and really deeply dive into the relationships we individually and collectively have with technology, the internet, online spaces, and its effects upon us.
We're both still on this journey.
Absolutely, and we probably will be for the rest of our lives.
But that is a good thing.
It's a very good thing.
To summarize, the Reality Crafter system is designed through its 3 tenets as a framework to help guide decisions and change that you can use to help you reach your personal goals.
The Reality Crafter mindset, on the other hand, is a 4-element way to set up your mental state for success. To respect yourself, the world around you, the value of your time, and the opportunity of life.
Being a reality crafter is a constant growing process. There's no endpoint to any of the system.
But setting it up to align with your priorities can help you craft the life you want, rather than falling into the hypnosis of the life technology conditions you into, flying past before you even know it.
If you find this topic as interesting as we do, know that we're going to be doing free full podcast episodes you can listen to right here on YouTube or on your favorite podcast service. Each podcast will connect with each main video topic we cover, but go into more depth. There'll also be extended podcast episodes available to our patrons through Patreon. So make sure you check those out. The first episode will be accompanying this video.
Otherwise, don't forget to hit subscribe and the notification bell, then stay tuned for more reality crafting. See you in a few sunsets.